In this installment, we're going to be going over Monday Night Football showdown slate on Draftkings between the Los Angeles Chargers and the New York Jets. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Chef D, and I'm here to give you the winning ingredients for a Monday Night Football showdown slate on DraftKings between the Los Angeles Chargers and the New York Jets. But before I deep dive into that, guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MetsNetJetsD. Don't forget about that TikTok at Chef_D91. And don't forget about the Patreon. We're going to talk about that really soon. But right now we are on the homepage of the YouTube. Our subscriber total is at 1.46 thousand subscribers. Beautiful. I'm loving the numbers that I'm seeing right now currently. Continue to push up those numbers. And I'm going to try to figure out what the third video is going to be. Because the week DFS, that was my lowest number each and every week. I'm going to try to switch it up. I haven't figured it out yet. But as of right now, we're just going to give you Monday Night Football showdown and Thursday Night Football showdown until I figure out where I'm going to put my third video a week and what that's going to be geared towards. All right, I'll figure something out. Hopefully, I'm just trying to switch it up. All right, so guys, continue to show love. We did great on the previous Thursday Night Football showdown slate. That video got 459 views. That was definitely thumbs up. Let's continue to show that type of support. And now for the Patreon, you guys are missing out on. If you didn't sign up, you missed out on all these wins on Sunday. We kicked things off on Sunday early morning. We had Chiefs money line. That was a win. All right. Then for the NFL slate, Saints won, Packers won, Browns won, Commanders won. I only got one wrong out of all those selections. One wrong. That's it. That was almost a full entire sweep. We even had Jonathan Taylor as an anytime touchdown. All right, guys, you're missing out. And not to mention, we had Sunday Night Football, Bengals money line. Out of all those selections, that was like 8-9 selections. Had one wrong. Guys, sign up right now if you want winning bets. If you want winning selections, go to that link provided down below and get connected in this Patreon because you guys are missing out. You guys already know the drill. We're going to touch on the injury report before we get to the captain and the flex plays here. Looking at the Los Angeles Chargers side, they're going to be healthy at that tight end position, bringing back Gerald Everett. That's going to be one of the weak points going up against the New York Jets is the tight ends, and they have two really good tight ends. They have Donald Parham and Gerald Everett. He's going to be back. Morgan Fox is questionable. Most likely going to pay. Jalen Guyton's going to most likely pay. He's the field stretcher. Eric Kendricks is questionable. Otto on the defensive side is going to be questionable. Josh Palmer is going to be out, so that's going to affect that wide receiver core. That's going to lean things a little bit more heavily on Keenan Allen and Quentin Johnston, but Quentin Johnston is a rookie and still very raw. So the options here for the Los Angeles Chargers have dwindled down. All right, Kenneth Murray is questionable and Sebastian Joseph Day is questionable as well. On that Jet side of the ball, O-lineman Dwayne Brown tackle is going to be out. Mekhi Becton is going to be fine. Chaz Surratt is going to be out. That's not much of a hit. And then we got Q tags on Adian Amos and Alan Lazard. So the only guy really missing time is going to be Dwayne Brown, but that's not going to affect the offensive line of New York just ain't that great anyway. But is not going to hamper them that much. All right, they've been dealing with this issue for the entire season. Let's get into the captain plays. Kicking things off at the captain spot here. We're going to start off with we're going to start off at the top. We'll start at the top. We'll talk about Austin Ekeler. Austin Ekeler is going to be the first guy we will speak about. He is to me, more of a flex play in this type of matchup going up against a very strong New York Jets defense on the road, all right? And Austin Eckler has not been impressive this year rushing the football. He's been very, very poor. The way he's been getting to fantasy production has been all the positive work he's doing in the receiving department. As you can see against Chicago, 7 and 94 with a touchdown. If you just look at the rushing numbers, majority of these games are very, very bad. 15 to 29, 1.9 yards a carry. Against KC, 14 to 45, 3.2 yards a carry. Against Dallas, 14 carries, 27 yards. That's horrible. Miami was one bright spot. That was the first game of the season. But if it wasn't for the receiving work, he's really not getting there. So as Austin Eckler as one of the top captain plays, I'm going to disagree for this slate. I'm going to move him down as a flex play, as a flex option. He is not going to be one of my top guys at the captain spot. Justin Herbert comes in here. Yes, he's a gunslinger. Even in bad matchup, this man can come through with some upside. He does provide rushing ability as well. It's just something weird that we're seeing here with the Jets defense at home. They've put elite quarterbacks in trouble. Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, all these guys have had horrible games in New Jersey, against this defense. So this is another guy here, Justin Herbert. A lot of people are going to be on the LA Chargers side. We're going to be contrarian in this lineup build here, and we're going to move Justin Herbert to a flex play, okay? We're moving him down. Obviously, you can build a lineup with Herbert, Zach Wilson, and then bring in, obviously, you need to try to fit in Keenan Allen, because I think that doesn't matter what kind of defense it is. He's a guy that's going to work in the middle, and there's no defense that can stop him, all right? Keenan Allen is that good, all right? So Justin Herbert moves down as a flex play, all right? I'm going to have some captains for you. We're getting to one right now, and that's going to be Keenan Allen. He's a guy that can break the slate because of the allotment of targets he's going to get. As you can see, each and every game is close to double digits. 10 against Chicago, 9 against the Chiefs, 11 against Dallas. He had a down game against Las Vegas, but don't forget about Minnesota. 18 of 20 with 215 yards. 10 targets against Tennessee, 9 targets against Miami. Keenan Allen is an elite wide receiver and route runner, and I love him in this game here. He's going to be one of our first captains to go towards here because where he works, where he wins, you can't guard that. You can't stop that, all right? So Keenan Allen is going to be a guy we can look towards in our lineup builds as a captain play on that Chargers side of the football, all right? For the Jets, we're going to be talking about 2 main guys here. Number 1 is Breece Hall. Breece Hall is an elite running back. You guys got to get it straight and get it forward right now. This man is going to be the number 1 running back. If not right now, very, very soon, all right? He's finally healthy, and any touch he can take all the way to the house. Against Denver, he had a long of 72 yards. Against the Chiefs, when everyone was like, hey, Breece Hall's not 100%, he had a long of 43 yards. This man is taking advantage of opportunities, and even against the Buffalo Bills in Game 1, he had a long of 83 yards. This is how dangerous Breece Hall is. You are never out. All right, it could be the fourth quarter. Breece Hall can pop out an 80-yard run for a touchdown at a moment's notice. And look at the string of games he's put together against Denver, Philly, and the Giants. 21.3, 20.3, and 31.4. He's doing it rushing the football, and he's doing it receiving the football. Him and Zach Wilson have a very nice connection together, and he's going to be our second major captain play we need to be looking at in this slate on Monday, all right? The next guy, and this guy might be the number 1 because he's due. We've been waiting for Garrett Wilson for weeks, all right? Garrett Wilson has not had a touchdown since week 2. It's been a very, very long time here. We got a long stretch here, and this is the perfect matchup going up against these Los Angeles Chargers. If we're looking at quarterback rank here, this is the number 1 matchup to have. See, as you can see, Los Angeles Chargers are at the top. They're allowing 22.8 points per game to that quarterback position. Who do you think Zach Wilson is going to get the ball to? And if you're looking at the wide receiver rank, this is the 5th best matchup right here for opposing wide receivers, and they have a very, very talented wide receiver. We've been waiting for the Garrett Wilson game. This is going to be it, all right? We had 90 yards against Philly. We had 100 yards against the Giants. We're going to get 100 yards and a touchdown here for Garrett Wilson in this game, in a very, very prime matchup across the board. This LA Chargers defense, I don't know what's going on. They have Khalil Mack, they have Bosa, but they still suck. So we're going to take advantage of that. And Zach Wilson is going to connect with his brother here, Garrett Wilson. Love him here as a captain play. All right. Zach Wilson, like I mentioned, he has the number 1 quarterback matchup here going up against these Los Angeles Chargers. Could we see a bright spot like he did against Kansas City where he had 20 fantasy points? Sure, we could. He does provide upside rushing that football as well. He's going to be bumped down as our 4th favorite captain play, but mainly pretty much just a flex play, all right? He's not one of the main captains I want to go after because Keenan Allen, Breece Hall, and Garrett Wilson are going to be locks up there. All right. Let's go over to the flex plays, and then I'll speak to you about some of these guys that can creep up into that captain range. But for right now, we're going to keep these 3 guys here: Keenan Allen, Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson. Those are going to be our top captain plays, and we're going to move on to the flex. Now for the flex plays. All right, here. So the first, I'm going to start off with 2. All right, 1 for each side that has upside to be a captain. For the Jets, that's going to be the Jets defense. The Jets defense is very, very strong at home. And like I told you before, we've seen it multiple times. All right, against Philly, they had 11 fantasy points. Against KC, 7. That was a solid game. And against Buffalo, they had 20 fantasy points. Against Josh Allen, they create turnovers. They create havoc. They have a big upside here playing at home. As you can see, they're averaging 10.5 fantasy points per game at home compared to 8.7 fantasy points per game on the road. It's just an elite defense. So you take advantage of these opportunities. You look at the fact that Justin Herbert is going to be without another wide receiver. No Mike Williams, no Josh Palmer. These are limited options here for a very strong secondary and pass rush that the Jets have. So that does not bode well for Justin Herbert. Just letting you know right now. So the Jets defense is going to be bumped up as a flex, and you could be very sneaky here and play them at that captain position, all right? Now, the sneaky play for the Chargers will be Gerald Everett, all right? Gerald Everett, and they also have Donald Parham. But like I told you before, the weakness to the Jets defense has always been the tight end position. We have slower linebackers and just mismatches against safeties here, where tight ends are just soaking up yardage, catches, and touchdowns as well. So this is going to bode well for Gerald Everett coming back from his injury and playing in this game here. Maybe he can have another double-digit outing here, where before he got injured against KC and Dallas, he had back-to-back games with a touchdown. So Gerald Everett is going to be a flex play that can be considered a captain. Let's continue going down the list. We will not be playing Chargers defense. I mean, you could. That's my bias. Let me stop. You can play Chargers defense just because I already know it's Zach Wilson. Things can get crazy. Mistakes can happen, and they can capitalize. That's why you can play Chargers defense, all right? So both defenses are viable. I just feel a little bit more strongly on the Jets side of the football because what we've seen, how they play at home, and the Chargers defense has been very, very inconsistent this entire season, all right? Now, for the kickers, Greg Zuerlein is a great play. He's averaging 10 points a game. Obviously, with Zach Wilson struggles to get the ball in the end zone, that benefits Greg Zuerlein. That's why he has a game of 14 points against Philly. That's why he has a game of 18 points against Denver. That's why he has a game of 11 points against Buffalo. So you see the upside there of Greg Zuerlein because he's taking advantage of the fact that a little bit of a struggles in that red zone area. All right. You can consider the kicker on the Charger side as well, Dicker, if you think this is going to be a lower scoring type of game. Now, with all injuries to that wide receiver position for the Chargers, no Mike Williams, no Josh Palmer, the rookie Quentin Johnston's going to have to step up, all right? And he has an ability to win after the catch. He has that yak ability, so you can see some upside here for Quentin Johnston to be a very sneaky flex play down below at his current price of $3,600 in salary, all right? Next guy we'll be talking about will be Donald Parham, all right? If you want to go with one or the other, Parham, 6'9", very big type of tight end. Gerald Everett is back, but they do play both of these guys, all right? If you want to throw him as a back-end flex play, you can, all right? Now, as we continue to go down here, down in the lower numbers here, Allen Lazard is the number 2 wide receiver. He's been getting some decent looks here. He has some high upside games like we saw against KC where he had 15 fantasy points. Other than that, he's just been a solid, just a few catches here and there for the New York Jets as a safety net. The guy I would trust a little bit more over Allen Lazard will be Tyler Conklin, all right? We saw some good games with Zach Wilson and Tyler Conklin last year, and he's been pretty consistent getting targets from Zach Wilson so far this season. We saw 4 targets against Philly. We saw 10 fantasy points and 67 yards against Denver. We saw 6 targets and 58 yards against KC. So you see the upside here, Tyler Conklin. Mainly the offense is Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson. If you're looking for a third option, Tyler Conklin will be your guy. Now, we're going even cheaper than that. That's how far as I want to go in this slate here. Donald Parham, Quinn Johnston, Tyler Conklin. That's going to be the cutoff here. Everyone else down here, it gets sparingly used, like CJ Uzomah. He's technically the number 3 tight end. So you don't have to go that far in this lineup build to build a very solid lineup that's going to contend, all right? We're going to stay with the guys that I already mentioned, and the cheapest we go will be Quinn Johnston, Tyler Conklin, and if you're really desperate, Donald Parham, all right? So now, the guaranteed, all right? We're going to have 3 guarantees in our lineup builds, all right? The first 2 guys we're going to go off is going to be Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson. That is the whole entire offense pretty much for the New York Jets. And for if I want to have someone on the Chargers side, it's going to be Keenan Allen. I do not like Austin Eckler in this matchup. He's looked poor rushing the football. He would have to get there receiving the football. And then Justin Herbert on the road in this type of environment. A lot of people are going to be on those 2 guys I just mentioned. But this is going to be a very tough game for them going up against this Jets defense, all right? And if we want to look for anyone else below those guys that should be in your lineups, like I said, Jets defense is going to be viable. And if you're looking at someone else for the Chargers, then you can either go with Gerald Everett at 5,600 right here, all right? So that's how far we're going to go, all right? Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, Keenan Allen. The other guys that you need to be looking towards in your lineup builds, Gerald Everett and Jets defense, all right? So thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And I'll be back with another video very soon, all right? Peace out, guys.